Islanders. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Apron. I'm your host, Cassie.
And I'm Manny.
And today we are back with a great reality check, please segment for you. I know that we've been kind of MIA the past 2 weeks, but we had a family matter, of a very difficult time for our family, and we needed to be there for our family. My beloved aunt passed away. She lost her battle to cancer. And the past 2 weeks, ever since Father's Day, really have just been very difficult for our family. And I'm always going to be the first one to say, whatever we do in any adventure, any project that we're doing, it's always going to be based on faith and family. So our family needed us this time. So we took a step back. We took a little pause. It kind of helps that Love Island is going on right now. So I feel like everyone has a lot to worry about and has a lot of distractions to kind of ease their mind or to kind of occupy their time. So we are probably not that missed. Regardless, we are excited to be back.
Yes, we are.
We want to start off this episode first and foremost by sending out our deepest condolences to all the families affected by the Texas floods. Kerrville, Kerr County is just about 3 hours northeast of where Manny and I live. And it's just a heartbreaking and gut wrenching situation. So before we continue with this podcast and start into today's episode, we hope and pray that everybody listening can just give a moment of silence and say a small little prayer to all the families affected. We send out our entire love, support, and we lift every single person up in prayer. But we are here today to talk about reality TV. We're going to be diving into Love Island. I know that if you've followed me in my personal page on TikTok, I've been kind of like recapping almost every single episode. I not since the beginning, mainly since like the Huda of it all. I am not a Huda stan. Okay, if you see my page, I do not support anything that woman does. I take a lot of offense to the things that she does. I think mainly because she's a mom, and not to mom shame. That's the last thing I ever want to do. But I think I'm a little bit more not critical. I just in my mind, I'm like, you're a mom first. In whatever you do, you will always be a mom first. Yes, like take care of you, and you need to like also make sure that you provide for your family and stuff. And like, these are great opportunities. I've said this from the very beginning. She is on the wrong show. What's your take on that, babe?
I mean, I don't know. She's just annoying to watch. She's a very, guess the easiest way to say it, like, she's very two-faced and not genuine, I guess. I mean, if, again, we're not here to, like, shit on her or, like, make fun of her, but
Yeah.
from how she portrayed herself on the show, regardless if she's different outside or not, the way she carried herself while she was on the show was not appropriate.
Exactly.
Not
And
even in regards of like her being a mom, but just as a human being, like the way she was treating her partner and the other women, the way she was talking about other women in the show is not
yeah,
very like that's not how you should be, regardless, no matter where you are or what you're doing. Like you should never speak in the manner she was speaking or treat people in the manner she was treating them.
I agree. Well, before we dive into this Love Island atrocity that is season 7, babe, how are you? We haven't really I didn't really introduce you or say much, but how have you been these past 2 weeks?
I mean, I've been good, just trying to be there for you and your family during what just happened. Definitely wasn't easy to, see you and your family go through what happened.
Yeah,
But besides that, I mean, I don't want to say we've recovered, but
we're managing.
yes, we're kind of trying to move on as best as possible. And, unless as messed up as it may sound, life does go on.
Yeah,
So it's
it's
just a matter of finding the right balance between, a grieving process and having to
reality.
carry on with your life because as sad as we may be, life goes on. Life keep on coming.
Yeah, life does not
Besides
stop.
that, yeah, life doesn't stop. 4th of July was fun. We had fun with Eddie. We put him in the pool. But
Yeah,
besides that, it's been calm, working as usual, and just taking it a day at a time.
taking it a day at a time. It's step by step moving forward for our family. But yeah, I want to dive into season 7, Love Island. How different is it in your opinion, babe? Season 7 to season 6. I feel like this season is such a train wreck
I don't think train wreck is the way to describe it.
compared to last season.
Yeah, compared to I feel like everything was going good up until we started seeing, like, I guess, like, not the real side, but like once we started seeing how these people started to like carry themselves in the show. Because last season was very like there was no one that was being like flat out, I guess, like toxic towards someone else. Obviously, there's tension and there's like people being like somewhat shady or like it looks at what they're doing is a little shady.
Yeah, but it wasn't intended. I think that last season was very genuine and raw in the sense that everyone had at least good intentions, and at the end of the day, they knew that at a certain point in the season, they had to be selfish and think like, okay, this is a game. Like we have to like strategize realistically, not like I'm going to take out my competition to win. Like this season is very much cutthroat in the sense that they are playing the game and they've been playing the game since the first two episodes. But this season is very much calculated. It's very much manipulative from the beginning. We'll get into each couple and kind of give our 2 cents on what has happened these past almost 30 episodes. We get a new episode tonight. So I'm kind of excited to see what's going to happen with tonight's recoupling. I will give my little predictions based on what's been going on in reality outside of the villa today, especially with the whole Cierra controversy. I want to see if our predictions are somewhat true. But you don't think that last season is different in comparison to this season? Like, I feel like last season was so much more genuine. Even last season, they didn't really cast influencers. Ace came into this with over a million followers. So did Huda. Like, I think that that's where production lost a lot of people. How are you going to have a fair competition or a fair game show, love slash game show, and then it be like based on, and I'll get into that, but based on America's voting when these people already have a huge mass following. I think that they let us down in that aspect.
I mean, to speak about being genuine, I mean, I guess yes, like this season is like from the edits that we've seen and the way they're recording and showing, does definitely seem like people are like. I mean, obviously, there's no proof of it, but if when you try to think about it, and people start coming up with their own theories and all that, yes, it does seem like everyone's moving very much like calculatedly and like trying to play play the game, quote unquote. Last season, yes, people still did that, but it was also there was definitely a lot more. It looked definitely more emotional, and it definitely looked like it was more genuine. Like the bonds that people had, like were more genuine. Like in this season, you can
Yeah.
tell that everyone has their own little circle. Like that, and last season, all the guys always hung out together, all the girls always hung out together. And this season, like there's I don't even call them cliques, but like all the OG guys hang out by themselves, and the people who
Yeah.
were bombshells also only hang out with themselves. Like it's not like I think the last few episodes have been the very few times where all the guys were like actually like sitting down together and like just talking about like damn like how's the all the stuff that's been happening.
Yeah.
Um, and the other regards, I don't know if this was their intention, and I'm sure I hope they address this, but I definitely don't think that production is being true with in regards to the voting. And even if they are using our votes, they don't mean anything because our votes are not affecting anything in the show.
At this point, I think that it's Love Island Islanders and Love Island producers. Like it's not Love Island USA. Production keeps hijacking our votes. I think that I wish we would be able to actually have a say. Like they want to involve the islanders in each situation, and I think that that's not fair to us because it's like then why have us vote? Like don't do that to us. Do you get me?
It definitely makes sense. It's
I will stand 10 toes down on this. Like they keep hijacking our votes. It's so like frustrating to watch. Needless to say, I think that production has been wanting to completely do and recreate an entire new like see, and I understand that every season's supposed to have like their twists and turns and curveballs, but I feel like every single episode has been such like an emotional roller coaster for us as viewers because they do such random things that nobody asked for. Like where's movie night? They completely changed the rules of Casa Amor. There nobody has touched the hideaway. The hideaway was introduced in episode 2, which is kind of actually very weird. Like that's a very weird placement of them to introduce the hideaway because there's no real couples. Them introducing the hideaway that early on kind of set the tone for the rest of the season. Something, and you can attest to this, babe, something about Cierra never felt right in my soul. Something about her, the way she spoke at the recoupling when Nick chose Bella, sat very ill in my soul. I don't like it. She laughed and she kind of like smirked when Nick said, "We had a very like intimate moment, a great moment in the photo booth." It felt very manipulative, malicious. And then when she goes up to him, she's like, "Good job." Like, what? Like, what do you mean good job? Like, I've also heard, I know I'm ranting, but I'm going to finish with this before I let you like take the beat. I've also heard that she has like previous Islander friends and people who have been on the show, like she's friends with. Don't know if this is true. This is alleged, and that they've shown her how to kind of like play the game. And every single time, ever since she's been in the villa, she's been playing the game, and I cannot stand her. Like I truly, truly cannot stomach her.
I feel like you're just, and I love you, I do, but I feel like you're just hate watching this season, which is not making it very fun to watch.
I
Won't
know.
lie.
I'm like screaming at the TV like the entire time. I'm like, every time I see Hood on my screen, I'm like, GTFO, like get off my screen. But I very much am kind of hate watching at this point. But I kind of want to dive into a little bit of each kind of couple.
Well, before you didn't even let me finish what I was gonna say. I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Finish.
In regards to them hijacking our votes, they are misusing our votes for their own like reason and purpose because it's like, they'll make us vote for like, oh, who's your favorite or who's like your least favorite. I'm pretty sure last year they did the same thing where like we would vote who like will be the bottom three or who's the least liked, and then they would let the Islanders vote. I'm pretty sure that's how it was last season because that's what happened to
Andrea.
Andrea last
Yeah.
season.
Yes, you're right. I do think that some of the votes last season were like that, but I think that this time they're giving too much power to the Islanders, and America's vote needs to be America's vote. I think it's also different. Like I said, last season was very much more genuine. They voted, I think that they voted honestly, like they voted genuinely, like
And that's why like you're upset. Not that that's why you're upset, but like that's the difference between this season and last season. Last
yeah.
season they were genuinely voting, and this season the reason it feels like we're not like the viewers are not being validated is because these people are just playing the game. Like they're
Yes.
just there to like they're here to vote who they think could get in their way of winning.
Yeah.
Which I don't know
They're
if we're gonna get into it, but there's clearly like there's a multiple instances where like they have voted A to play the game, or they voted B, oh, this is my homeboy, or this is my homegirl. Like, I'm gonna vote
yes.
for them.
Yes.
So if we get into that, we'll address it. If not, you've been watching the show. If you haven't been, go watch the show. You'll understand what we mean.
No, definitely. I completely agree. I think that this year they're definitely playing the game in the sense that they are, like I said, like manipulating everything, and they're kind of like they're they're calculated is was the word I was trying to say. But before we get into like the most recent episodes, I kind of want to start from the very beginning. What do you think about Nick and Sierra's relationship? Do you think it's genuine? Yes or no?
I honestly think it's like a solid 75 to 80%. Like, I do
Genuine?
think it's genuine, regardless of how you feel, like, in whatever controversy is like around them.
Yeah. No, no.
I
Aside
do
from that,
think that I do think they genuinely like do like each other. I do definitely feel like Sierra does like Nick more than
yeah,
he likes her, which is, I mean, that's a thing that happens in relationships. But
yeah.
I do think that like I think they do like each other. To bottom line, I do think they do like each other.
I don't know. I don't think that it's a genuine connection. I think it may have I think it started off from a very beginning very skewed with the whole Belle Dasha thing, and I think that that's why I also have like a bad taste in my mouth, but I honestly don't think that they're going to last a day in the real world, but that's just me. What do you think about Ace and Shelly?
I mean, they were fine at first, but then if the whole them knowing each other like beforehand like is actually true, I mean, it kind of not disqualifies them because they're still in the show, so that doesn't matter. But like, it definitely makes it less, a lot less genuine. I guess is the word we're going with.
Yeah, and I think the craziest part is that I know Love Island, at least, I mean, Love is Blind tries to not cast people that know each other. You would think that, like, with a reality dating show, game show, that same thing would apply, like, to Love Island. And the craziest part is that they weren't even like trying to hide it. They kind of did. Like he was very much like present, I think, in like her comments or in her posts, like liking them and wishing her a happy Valentine's Day. And when they first arrived at the island, you could kind of tell that they didn't know they were going to be both walking in as OGs because I think Shelly walked in first, and then he walked in second, and then he was like, "Oh my god!" Like blah blah blah. I mean, everything that I've seen of him up until this point has also been very kind of strategic. So he could have just be like he could just be playing the part really well. If they were truly trying to hide it, though, I think it'd be kind of weird that they were very much like prominent on each other's social media page, like IG and stuff like that. Regardless, do I think that they like each other? I do. Their connection, though, I think that because they know each other outside of the villa, like in real life, I think that that also leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I feel like it wouldn't make sense for them to win. The whole experience and the experiment of them finding love, the whole thing is to explore other people. And I feel like he hasn't explored anybody. And I know you have like your thoughts about that too. I don't think he's explored anybody outside of Shelly, like truly, truly. I didn't watch Casa Amor. We didn't watch that episode mainly because I was still so upset about Jeremiah leaving. But I did see, I think in the like one of the following episodes, he says, "I like Shelly, but I love Coco." Like how even then, even for him to say that, they have not been genuine in exploring other connections.
I've already told you that he has tried, but like I said, you have your opinions, I have mine. He has explored. I mean, he's always been about Shelly since day one, you know? Like, since the very beginning, I think Shelly chose him or whatever, so they have been together, but then Yulisa came in and, like, broke him up, whatever. He took a chance with Amaya. Whether you call it exploring or not, he had the chance.
In what way? In what way did he take a chance with Amaya?
He picked her. He went first, so he had the option to pick Shelly, and he still picked Amaya. So he went out of his way to say, "Okay, let me try to get to know someone else,"
Mhm.
and it didn't work.
How can you say that he went like outside of his way to get to know somebody else if right after the recoupling he sits her down and says, "Listen, these are my boundaries. I don't like physical touch.
He
Don't
didn't
call me
say that
babe."
there.
Like he did.
No, he said, what he said when he sat her down at the camp at the fire pit. He said, "Listen, I know I just picked you. I know, like my situation with Shelly, da da da, whatever. I still picked you. I just want you to know that I'm still open to get to know other. He's like, I'm still open to get to know other people. Like I still want to talk to everybody else. Blah blah blah, whatever."
Mhm.
So then that left. I now that I'm thinking about it, and looking back on it, what happened was he told her that. So Amaya took that as a okay. So I need to show him that like I'm interested in him, which led to the whole her being overly affectionate, which then led him to be like, "Hey, this is too much for me. Like, I don't like this, blah, blah, blah," which then just left to the snowball effect of them just fighting every single time they had a conversation.
I truly think that he is I had it in my mind right now as you were talking. He's a walking contradiction. How are you going to say, "I don't like physical touch, don't call me babe, blah, blah, blah." But just because it comes from Shelly, which is someone that he knows outside the villa, the second they recoupled towards the middle of the season, literally right after, he's all over her, like they're cuddling that night and they're like super lovey-dovey touchy and she calls him babe and like whatever. This and what
She
upsets me
doesn't.
more is that what
I'm
upsets
gonna let
me
you finish.
what upsets me more is that, okay, I get it. Maybe he has a stronger connection with Shelly than he did with Amaya. Valid. At the same time, why does he have a stronger connection with Shelly than Amaya? Because he knows her before, like outside of the villa. Obviously, nobody is going to be closed off and locked into one person. So I think it was kind of very, like, like it was kind of very understood that you're still there to explore. I think that is it is why it upset me so much that Ace had to even say that. And I think she even said it like, "No, duh, we're not locked off." Like, no shit. I think she was valid in the sense that she said, "You couldn't let me have this one night." Could this have not like been spoken about in the morning or first thing in the morning? Let's have breakfast. Let's talk. They have hours. I would assume they have hours on end, like in the villa that they can just talk. So why have to do it like right then and there, right after? It just made no sense. The timing was very off to me. And I liked Ace at the very beginning. I was like, you know what? He's clocking like what we see in Huda. I was appreciative that he was real on that standpoint. But the second he came at Amaya the way he did, and the way he's still to this day coming at her, like with the whole, "Wow, that was not in my parlay that she was America's favorite." Like, yeah, no shit, we don't like you, dude. I think that he is very much trying to self produce and create this narrative in his own head that he is Like, hello, he stood up there like as if he was the most genuine, as if he was America's favorite. Like he put himself first in almost every category. And it was a very humbling moment. Go ahead.
One, he didn't put himself first. The Islanders got to pick in what order they went. For one, yes, they did.
Okay, we reviewed the footage, and you're right. Ace put himself third in the most genuine category, and then
America moved
second
him
or
to
third,
eighth.
second or third, and then the girls moved them around, and then he ended up in third, and then America moved him to eight or nine. So then in the second category, boyfriend material, he put himself first along with the other guys. They agreed, and then the girls said no. Pepe goes first. I think they said Pepe because he makes breakfasts for everybody. Then he got a rude awakening, ended up at the bottom three or
He was
two, eight or
eighth every
nine,
time.
eighth or nine.
He was always like eighth. He was bottom three everyone every single time.
Yeah, regardless. And so I think that in his mind, I think he's creating a scenario because I don't know. I don't know. I truly,
I'm gonna keep saying this. I love you, but you are watching this very one-sidedly.
I
You are,
am.
and that's fine.
And I'm not even like, it's not even like my one side. I think like half of America agrees with me or most of people watching.
America is. I don't know. I don't care if I'm on this boat by
He has been
myself.
on my shit list since the Jeremiah dumping. I'm done.
Anyways, you and all of America, in my opinion, are very much watching this and not like you're thinking with your emotions and not logically. Like he handled the whole Amaya situation horrendously. I do 100% agree with that. Like he definitely was very much like
It was very weird and awkward.
not even weird. Not he was just like too standoffish, and his character that like up until that point was never that way. Like he was never like you said, like with Shelly, he never really like had put up these boundaries or like seemed like he was gonna be that way at all. That's why he caught everyone by surprise when he like came up to Amaya and basically he's just like dropped this bomb on her like I don't like this that I'm this way I'm that way blah blah blah. Like I myself said the same thing. I was like okay, I was like there's no need to be that way, but again is a two-way street. Amaya could have taken that and been like, okay, let's meet in the middle or let's meet halfway. Which again, I'm not saying she should have. I'm just saying like that's something I would have done. If someone comes up to me and they put up and they give me a list of boundaries, I'm gonna reply to them, okay, here are my boundaries. Where can we meet in the middle?
One thing before we move on to Huda and Jeremiah, which kind of ties into Ace as well, I think that Brian, we're going to be kind of jumping all over the place because we're just kind of giving an overall view, but an also a little debrief of the entire season so far, but kind of just giving our opinion on each couple. Brian, in the recent episode when they did the postcard thing, and I think Austin said that Amaya was too much, then Ace chose that moment to chime in and give his 2 cents, whatever. But I think Brian defending her made a very good point that I hadn't really clocked either. As a Latina or Latinos, like in general, we have a very different vocabulary. We're very cariñosos. Like we say, mi amor, mi vida, mami, papi. Like we talk like that, like that's our lingo. Brian made a very good point. He expected so much of Amaya. Like he put up these boundaries, which is fine and that's fair. But then when she told him like this is how I talk, like there's nothing there's I'm not calling you babe in a like we're locked in, like we're boyfriend and girlfriend like type thing. Like especially even us like working in restaurants, a lot of people throw out that word like sweetie, honey, babe, stuff like that. And it's very much like normal vocabulary. There's no like or ill intent behind it. And Brian made a very good point. Like, what do you think about what Brian said when he said, you also have to meet her halfway? Do you think that Ace even tried to meet her halfway? Because the first night that they recoupled, he stepped in soul ties until he recoupled with Shelly. Like, he not once, like, everybody, even last season, like, if even if you're not in like good standings with your couple, like, for you to pull that shit and sleep in soul ties and not even bother to sleep with your couple, regardless if you're mad with them or not speaking, or even if you break things off. Like Pepe broke things off with Grayson and he still had to like get in bed, like just go to sleep. Like you're just going to sleep. Like there's nothing wrong with that. And like, I think he went about it very childish. He tried to do the most 4 episodes in, 5 episodes in, and it's like nobody did that until like later in the season, last season. And it's like, why are you sleeping in soul ties?
I mean, I agree. I like. I
But what's your point of view? Like, do you think that he did try to meet her halfway?
I don't think either of them I don't think either of them did, but he
She clocked herself. She was like, "Okay, if you don't like the word babe, like I'm gonna do my best. I'm not gonna say it." She would catch herself and she'd be like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. Like it doesn't come off. Like I don't say it like with ill intent." So she was very aware. Even if it did slip out, she was like, "Oh man, like I'm sorry." Like, and she would reiterate, like it doesn't mean anything. But she tried, and like she tried to change herself just to.
she tried to meet him halfway, and you're 100% right. Like he never tried. I feel like the very first time, because I think she started trying to meet him halfway after the second argument that they had. And I feel like by that point, again, to Ace's fault, like I don't agree with how he treated Amaya at all. First off. But that's what I'm saying. After that second argument, I feel like he was just so put off with her that he was just like over it. Like, which again, like like very,
Watch him play along at 9 p.m.
he,
Hold on.
what?
First look, fourth vote. We're voting again tonight. We just got a sneak peek of what the preview for tonight's episode is. I'm going to first look for episode 30. There's a recoupling, a dumping, and a vote tonight. Do you want to hear it real quick? It's a minute and 45 seconds.
I felt something. The old bug was thrown away into the sea, and it's a new bug now.
Her bug can change everything, man. All of my energy, I want to focus it on you.
I just want somebody who loves me the way I give love out.
I am so open to that. You have no idea.
He's so cute, right? Am I tripping? I am a little bit nervous. What's going to happen? Who's going to pick who?
Here we go.
Ryan was like one of the only guys who stood up for me. Elon, he's a sweet gentleman guy. And the thing is with Zach, he's a very, very handsome man. I am a little worried.
You're getting pulled 100 different ways. I feel like you're a popular girl here right now.
My head is scrambled. Can we please just pause?
No, Black. Could be my funeral tonight.
I feel nothing but moths in my stomach.
I'm nervous.
Maybe they should be feeling a little stressed right now. It shall be interesting. Truth, please tell.
Ariana always looks so good.
Me, who you want to couple up with and why? The boy I would like to couple up with is.
Damn. I don't think that she'd pick Zach. One, because he's also kind of like interested in Olandria, but also because
It was a dick.
not only that, but he came back with a tail between his legs, trying to beg for her back and say, I'm so sorry. And she cried and she was like, I cussed you out and it was very wrong of me. Like, but because she's America's favorite and he saw that, now it's true. Now everyone wants her because she's America's number one favorite. And I think that that's also very telling. Elan, I feel like Elan kind of, no, not even, because when Iris was left by herself and TJ left, he expressed interest in Iris. After the game, I
was gonna say that. I was like, the only ones who I think are actually genuinely interested in her is probably just Brian.
Yeah, and I hope she picks him because Elan is handsome or whatever, but I don't think that their intentions are pure after that game. And Brian stood up for her before that game. Huda and Jeremiah, what did you think of that original recoupling? Well, like the very first one, I think that at the very beginning, Huda was they were both kind of closed off. But when I saw her like real true colors, that's when I was like, you know what? As a mom and I saw her, I was truly rooting for her. But when she like spoke the way she spoke about other women several times over, that's what truly like put me off about her. And then the way she spoke to Jeremiah, I thought was very uncalled for. And about everybody, like she just spoke so foul. And it's like, dude, like one, you're a mom. Like I don't know. I feel like, and I get it. She's a young mom, and I'm an older mom, and I'm in my 30s. But I feel like regardless at whatever age, like you are kind of forced to grow up, and there's just certain ways you can handle yourself, and there's certain ways that you can conduct yourself. And I think that she wasn't the best representation of a mom. Yeah.
Yeah. In regards to that, she definitely, and we said at the beginning, like she's very two-faced. She's very rude. She's very she's not a girls like she says that she is. And it's, at the expense of Jeremiah is how we had to find out.
All right, fast forward to the Jeremiah dumping. What did you think about that, babe? Did you think that the boys were right in their ways? You think that they were right to dump him?
I thought you were gonna say do you think they were wrong or if they were calculated? No, they were 100%. That was 100% not the right choice.
Yeah.
That video that I told you in the neck Val where it was like a snitch versus a rat. That kind of made me think of it differently because I at first thought okay, maybe Ace probably did lead the conversation into trying to vote him off, but
he spearheaded it definitely.
I think that Nick probably seconded first, and then Taylor was like, "Well, it's 2 against 1," so he just went along with it.
Yeah.
Because it's true, like the way that video was is like at least Ace had always been since day one, and that's the thing I like about Ace. Since day one, Ace has always been very
Ace.
upfront and very like he tells it how it is. As weird
Yeah.
as it may be, he does. Is he wrong a lot of times? Yes. Like, but Nick, like the fact that Nick was like saying, "Yeah, like he's my best friend in here. He's
And
like
then he's
my
like, it's not
brother," and
personal.
it's like, yeah,
Hmm.
like if he's your best friend, out of the 3 people up there was genuinely only one choice. And I'm sorry if you like the guy, Austin should have gone home right
Yeah.
then and there.
And besides political views, I think that that's just the stupidest thing. Like, it's just so annoying. Political views aside, Austin had no connection. Like, he was just kind of, I'm surprised he made it this far with really like no strong connection, regardless of the fact he should have gone home. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, I genuinely do think that like he was done very wrong because it's just like you said. He was like he was damned if he did, damned if he didn't. Like they were telling him the
Yeah.
whole time, like you need to stop like going all in on Huda. You need to start like exploring other
Exploring.
people, blah blah. So it was like fine. America forced him out of the couple with Huda. He continued to not pick Huda and went with Iris. Things with Iris didn't work out. They went on a nice date together. They didn't feel the connection. Cool.
He even chose her. Like, when he had an
Hmm.
opportunity to choose between
Yeah,
Huda
that's
and
what I said.
Iris, he broke the cycle and he chose
And
Iris.
then the new bombshell came in, and he expressed interest in her. They started talking. Things were moving along well, and and that's exactly how they said it. All the boys found that new bombshell attractive, and they all wanted their shot at her. And as soon as they saw that Jeremiah had first dibs and she was interested in him, it all shifted. It like, and that's to the point you're saying. Like this show is very much like they're not playing the game to find love. They're playing the game to like just get ahead because you can tell. Like I know Eddie. You could tell that from that moment that they like kissed in front of everyone, and she even told them like, "I don't want to kiss you because I don't want people to like think like,
Yeah.
oh, that we're already like locked in." And he was like, "I don't care." And then as soon as that happened, again,
It was literally so coincidental. Like, they were talking about it, and then Ace turns around. He's like, "You see, Exhibit A." So I think that he kind of delivered himself to the hands of Ace in that situation, which is very unfortunate. But to piggyback off of that, it's like you're supposed to be weaking off. You're supposed to be voting off the weakest links, people that don't have connections,
exactly.
and they're voting off their competition, people who have strong connections. And that's what I'm not like. That's not what I'm about. Like, that's what I'm not fucking with.
And
Point blank,
then the
period.
girls did the exact opposite. So the boys,
Um,
yeah, the boys voted in the sense of like, let's eliminate Jeremiah. He's the one getting the attention from like the hottest bombshell. The girls, because that's what Cierra said. Cierra was like, because when Pepe asked her,
I get so like my blood boils more than it does with Huda when I hear Sierra's explanation about that. She's like, she had two strong connections. She's so lucky." Okay, bitch, you've had one.
yeah, when she was like, she was lucky enough to like have 2 connections. I'm like, in what head does that make sense? So because she was able to find 2 connections, her time was up.
One, because you guys forced it out of her because they voted Charlie off at the beginning, and
That
then she
too.
was forced out of her connection. Like, she didn't get a chance to explore. She explored Pepe, and it worked. And it's like, are you like, in my mind? I'm thinking like, Pep, regardless, and what Nick Vile said in his podcast, and it's very true. We last season, when they dumped off Andrea, we got to see as viewers a little bit of their conversation. Not everything. We got to see a little bit of the conversation had about them, who they were going to pick. This time we saw nothing from the guys, nothing from the girls. And what really like set me off was the fact that right before that, Huda like wanted to try and get with Pepe, and people were saying that they eliminated Hannah. They eliminated Hannah because it would have given Huda an in with Pepe. And it's like, okay, like, and it's true, like Hannah and Pepe were probably going to be finalists because their connection was true and it was genuine and it was honest. And everyone saw that as a threat. At that point, Iris had a connection growing, starting off with TJ, but at that point, Amaya didn't have a connection. And I think that that's strategically, you would want to like, yes, everyone deserves a chance at love or whatever, right? But if that's the case, then why didn't they vote off
And
Huda?
that
She had a great
in that
connection
moment
with
in time, like it's not like yes, it's like you said, everyone deserves a chance at love, but like in that exact moment in time, when they were there, when they were standing in front of them saying someone has to go home, at that point, Amaya and Austin were just not like they had nothing going on. So it's
Exactly.
like yes, so like 100%. And to go back to what you said, the reason we didn't get to see like an inside of the conversation is because that wasn't as controversial as it was last season.
You don't think so?
No, because last season they made it a point to talk about it. Like last season,
You don't think getting Jeremiah voted off the island was controversial?
well, at that point, Hood and him were done. No one really cared. It would have been. It would have made more. It would have made more sense if Pepe did what Rob did last season and went to all the girls saying like, "Who decided to vote her off?" Because that's what Rob did. Rob.
Well, he kind of did
I mean, yeah,
he kind of did in the
like
postcard
3 weeks,
challenge.
like
Regardless,
4 days later.
well, yeah, but regardless, I think that people are saying or speculating that they're going to bring this out either at the reunion or they're going to bring it out at movie night.
So
But now with the way things are going, are we even getting a movie night? Like we have apparently Mireya said that
next
the
week,
final is next week or in a week and a half. It's like 10 days out and it's like, okay, if the finale is July 17th or whatever, then we don't have that many days left. Like people are speculating we're not going to get a movie night. We didn't even get the videos dropped like at Casa Amor when they were dropping and sending videos of sneak peeks of what the other villa was doing. And it's like, why not? There was no social media challenge. This was such a flop of a season. And everyone is in there thinking they're this hot shit and like, oh, like people in America are eating this up. Especially when they're reasoning to dumping Jeremiah off was like, America saw something we didn't, or America, like America was seeing or saying things and blah blah blah. And it's like when you don't bring me into this, don't speak for me. Like you don't know what's going on out here. Wait till you guys come out and see and fall so hard on your face and realize that America's not fucking with you guys.
100%. Like I mean, like to go back to what you're saying, I genuinely feel bad for Huda because she is going to come out of this villa and run into a brick wall because she thinks she's doing so good. Like she thinks everyone
Yeah.
loves her, and she is gonna come out of this show, get her phone, come home, and hit a brick wall of like negative comments about
What's
her.
crazy about it is that she had all these millions of followers because she was an influencer, like a gym influencer, right? A fitness influencer. When she was so unhinged and speaking the way she was speaking and moving the way she was moving the first half of the season, no one was coming to her defense. It was very far few in between of the million of followers that she had. And now the moment that there is a glimpse of hope and production is trying to like save her and give her this redemption arc, everyone was like, you see, blah, blah, blah. And now they want to come out of the woodworks. And it's like, okay, hood rats, sit down. Where were you when she was acting a fool the first few episodes? And it's like, one thing, and I will stand by this, people with that instability do not heal overnight. She is not going to heal from such like trauma and the way she was speaking and her attachment styles. Her asking Jeremiah, well, are you going to do you want to shower together? Or are you going to share your location with me? And the way she like twisted the reality of their conversation in their date when she said, yeah, he wants to move in, when that's nothing of what he said. It's like people like that do not change overnight, much less in such a compressed and high intense and high tension environment. Jeremiah and people have come out saying that their sleep schedule, like they don't get that many hours of sleep. Like, yeah, they're not drinking all the time, they're hydrated or whatever, but their sleep schedule is all whack. And sometimes they're just so like exhausted and drained. And so you can't tell me that in those conditions she's going to heal miraculously. I highly doubt it. People are thinking that, or people are alleging that maybe production sat her down and said, "Look, you better cut the shit and act right, or you're going home." And I think that's why she took a complete 180 and she's acting the way she's acting. But there are moments of Huda slipping up, and I think that production is keeping her in that villa because of the fact of what's going on in the outside world and how like toxic like the viewers or how we all got like on social media and how we've shared our opinions. I think that they're trying to spare her and they don't know how to provide her with the correct like supplies and like I don't think or resources and set her up for success outside of the villa like they normally do every season with every cast member. Normally reality TV, they give you like they put you in contact with ex islanders or like pamphlets and of like how to like of like therapy and stuff like that from what I've heard other islanders say. I think that it got because of her behavior on TV and the backlash that she got. I think that they were truly so scared to let her go out into the real world without trying to give her a redemption arc. This is my hot take. And so they kept her in the villa. They did everything that they could to in give her enough time to like give her a redemption arc, and I'm not buying it. Like, I'm not. There is some things that she still does, and the way she moves, like the way she said what she said to Chris recently after the whole Ace incident and the challenge.
I can't believe I missed that.
She was like, would it matter if I was ugly? It's like, what are you on? Like, why would you say that? Like, are you insinuating that they're jealous of your looks, or that she's so male centered? Eddie's upset along with us. She's so male centered, and she thinks that she can get away with everything that she does because of her looks. And if she was ugly, then maybe it wouldn't matter. But it's like in what normal person's mind would that happen? It's fine. We'll hear him in the background. Like, you say you didn't hear it, but she said it.
No, I mean, I believe you. No, it's not I don't believe you. I'm saying I can't believe I missed it. I don't know. I don't think they're keeping her in the show because remember, the others had the chance to vote her off twice now.
Yeah, but they
They've had the
probably,
chance
I
to.
mean, production, I feel like probably had a hand. People are speculating that production and Ace are this close because when they had a chance to vote her off after the door challenge and Jeremiah chose Iris, why would Ace stand behind Huda? And like, why
He
would,
said it. He said that I didn't do it for you. I did it for Taylor. Because remember, it was Jalen or her.
I get that, but it's like, I don't know. It's just,
That's what I'm saying. It is too much to speculate. It is too much to go off on.
I don't know. I truly will never understand I'll never understand the mind of a hood rat. I really don't understand the people that are saying that Shelly, Olandria, and Cierra are mean girls. I refuse to believe that. I do think that Cierra is very ingenuine, and I don't think that she will be here much longer. Is there anything else that you want to say about the couples? I know we didn't really talk about like Hannah that much and Pepe. I think that we
Well,
spoke a little bit
we're
about
talking
her.
about the hot couple. Like everybody
Yeah.
else is a genuine, actually healthy couple. Like I liked Iris and TJ. I didn't like them together, but they were nice. They were happy. I like Iris and Pepe. I support that.
Yeah.
Who's the other one?
Amaya Papaya, we cannot forget her. She never really had like that much of a big genuine couple. Most recently after the challenge, like we said earlier, I'm happy that Brian stood by her. We watched today's sneak peek and like the preview, the first look for tonight's episode. And now everyone wants to be with Amaya because she's the popular vote and she's America's sweetheart. I think she's there for the right reasons. She can be a little quirky. She can be a little like awkward and stuff like that. That's fine. That's perfect. She's not everyone's cup of tea. If she's not your cup of tea, don't drink her. Okay. Maybe she's not the
And
book
I'm
you need to
not.
be reading.
And I'm not. That's
But
period. I
you can,
don't.
I think that it's fair to say that she is there for the right reasons and that she's being genuine compared to the other women. I think her and Iris are the most genuine people. And even Olandria, she was just like hung up on Taylor far too longer than she should have been.
I don't think she was hung up on him. I just think it's like she said, like, and that's what pissed me off. Taylor heard what he wanted to hear. Alondra never wanted Taylor to move
For
for
her.
her.
Yeah.
She just wanted you to be a real man and like say, okay, these are my intentions. Yeah, like
I
like
agree.
because it's true. Like she told Alondra, I was like, yeah, I still want to pursue both of you, but never did.
Yeah.
Never had a conversation with her after the fact. He never made any effort to like show that he was interested in her.
Yeah. I agree.
So like to me, like Clark and Taylor, sure, whatever, they
I
can be
like
happy.
Clark. Taylor moved a little weird for me. He also should have been gone home. I think that, in tonight's
It's
episode.
just like Alondra said. If Alondra had been moving the way Taylor was moving now, he would not be here.
Exactly. Exactly. This if Huda were a boy, if Huda were a guy, she would not be here. They would have swifted her ass the way that they did Yulisa in the middle of the night. They would have canceled her a lot harder than what people are doing now. Like, it's borderline domestic violence. Like, people have come online, true like counselors or like therapists give their opinion, and people who have experience and knowledge and background in that field have come out and said that Huda is the abuser. She has domestic violence tendencies. Domestic violence is not always physical. It can be very much verbal and emotional. She put that man Jeremiah through so much, and people have to realize that she's a common denominator in every single person. Every single person. On After Sun last night, on Sunday, the host asked Grayson, like, do you want to know who said what they said about you in the note to Pepe? And she's like, I'd like to think that it was one of the boys. And they went ahead and showed her the clip. And she says, I had a feeling that it was Huda because of the way she retracted in our friendship. She said, Huda's a great girl, but she did kind of distanced herself when I was expressing my feelings, and she kind of just retracted from the group and just got very quiet. So she said, I think that I had a feeling it could have been her, but it's like, dude, add another girl to the list of people that Huda has been malicious to or mean to or has disrespected or crossed a boundary with or hurt, point blank period. Someone that she's hurt. We've had Iris, Amaya, Jeremiah, the way she spoke to even in that first night when they recoupled. Was it the first night when she's at the fire pit and all the guys wanted to recouple
Recouple
with
with Cierra.
Cierra? And she's like, oh, I don't like this. I don't like this. And it's like, why do you have to, like, she wants to be the center of attention for everything. She did it that same night or that same afternoon that they came back with, that Iris and Jeremiah came back from their date. She sat in that iconic meme on that lawn chair, like so quote unquote unbothered when she was totally bothered and she had that RBF on her. It's like, bitch, like wipe that shit off your face. It's so annoying. She's the victim. She's a professional victim, and I will never ever like have her back until I see genuine, honest change. And at the end of the day, she doesn't owe us that as like viewers, but it's like, don't expect me to be behind you when you're moving the way you're moving and you're acting the way you're acting and you're showing your ass on national TV. Like, you're not going to, like, don't ask me to defend you. Like, I'm sorry. People can see right through you. At the end of the day, people are going to have to realize that she's a common denominator in a lot of shit. And it's like, if people can't see that, then I can't help you. But I'm just so done with her. Every time I think that she cannot get any worse, she proves me wrong. And I'm like, dude, it's truly so insufferable. Like, she's so insufferable to watch. And you're right. It's like a dumpster fire. You can't look away no matter how hard you try.
I mean, it's just this season is 100% not true, Eddie. It's not good at all. I mean, there's not really much to be said. Like, it's just like
It's a rough watch. I think that this season altogether is a rough watch. And
not that I wouldn't say it's a rough watch.
no,
It is not that it's rough. It's just
I feel emotionally abused after watching every episode, and I did not feel like that last season.
oh, that's you. I'm saying like this is definitely like this season looks a lot more like a game show rather than an actual
People are saying
experience.
it's like Survivor. I never watched Survivor, but it's like, okay, did they get these contestants mixed up? Like, they filmed Survivor on the same island. Like, I think that they need to like tap these contestants into Survivor. Like, it's truly like it's so frustrating to watch and I go back to like the whole hijacking of our vote, kind of tying in and kind of wrapping up this episode. But how are you going to tell me that Ace was bottom 2 or bottom 3 every single poll in the Maybelline Burst Your Bubble challenge, and he was not in the bottom 3 men? How are you going to tell? Like, there's no way. You're not going to tell me that Clark was the least favorite in every single category and she wasn't in the bottom 3 women. Like, it makes no sense. That's what I mean when I say that production is hijacking our votes. It's like, where's the proof? I want to see. Why can't they just send the person with the least votes off? Like, why can't they vote off? They did a mass dumping. 6 people went home. Why couldn't they vote the bottom 2 people completely, like, eliminated? They're not savable. Those are the bottom 2 people that are going home for sure. And then the rest of the 4, the Islanders would have had to choose to only save one person. But like, how disgusting. Like, we saw in Friday's episode, and it's like Landria is clocking how Cierra is being so two-faced. And I think, and I'm hoping and I'm praying that they're realizing that she is playing a game that they're not. I think that Olandria and Shelly, now I want to know, like, was Cierra the mastermind in sending Hannah home? Because like, these are questions that we need to know. Like, we didn't see a single second of them choosing who should go home.
I mean, I told you my personal opinion as to why. Like they,
I think
and
that
I
they're
mean,
saving
I
it.
stand by it.
I
Huh?
think that they're going to save it for another.
I mean, I
But
highly doubt it because at this point, it what good is it gonna do? Like Pepe's, I'm not saying he's over it,
you know
but
why?
Pepe's already in a
No,
relationship or like in a couple.
yes. Well, not really.
Not
But
yet. He's
yeah,
gonna pick
hopefully
Iris, but
tonight, and we'll talk about our predictions for tonight's episode. You want to know why I think that they were keeping them on? Another reason as to why they were keeping them on. I was clocking, or I was my prediction was that they were going to keep as many of the main characters on, like Sierra, Olandria, Shelly, and Huda, around movie night. That way, they would see movie night and then do a massive dumping or recoupling afterwards, and then they were going to vote the people who were least genuine, people who like Huda, like Cierra, were being very two-faced. People like Ace, like Nick, like people are upset at, and I get it. Olandria, like she did what she did with Huda in postcards when she was sucking face with Nick in Soul Ties. I truly don't think Olandria ever had a connection or an interest in Nick. I think Nick had an interest in Olandria, which is why in her head she's probably thinking like I'm not a threat to Cierra because I have no interest in Nick, but Nick, I think that they I don't know. Do you get what I'm saying? I feel like they're like Nick and Cierra is very one-sided. Cierra likes Nick more. I think with the Nick Olandria, it's very also one-sided. Nick likes Olandria more. And I think that they were trying to keep everyone around for movie night to see people's true colors and then vote accordingly based off of who these people really are behind each other's backs. That was my prediction. But now that we're this late in the season with a few episodes left, I truly don't think we're going to get movie night, and I'm kind of upset about it.
You definitely ping ponged everywhere
I
in my
know.
last ramble.
I'll try to organize it as best I can in the podcast.
But I don't know. Like, I feel like you're thinking like the producers are going to be as petty as we are. I don't think they're trying to keep these people around
Yeah.
for movie night because you have to remember at the end of the day, I don't think like yes, did producers lie about
Votes.
like the votings? Not most likely, they definitely did because I remember the day after Jeremiah got voted off,
We saw
I
the
went
poll
back.
numbers in the app.
I went back to the app because I hadn't voted, and I went back to the app and I was okay. Let me see what the poll was, and Ace was in the bottom three, and not Jeremiah. So
Yeah.
are the producers lying? I am going to say yes. Whether we're right or wrong, we'll never know probably. But I don't think that they're being as petty as you think they are. They're trying to keep them around for like a certain reason because you have to remember at the end of the day, they are letting the Islanders vote. So I'm gonna double down and just say like the reason things are going the way they're going is because they are voting like as if this was a real game show and not a show about finding someone for you.
Yes, but I also think that if it was a real game show, then if it's called Love Island USA and you're opening the votes to America, then make it America's vote. This is not Love Island producers. This is not Love Island Fiji Islanders. It's like I feel like this year they're giving more power to the Islanders that they did last year. Of course, every now and then you want the pettiness, you want the drama, so let the Islanders vote. But for every single one, it's getting exhausting.
I mean, at the end, we're not the producers, babe. Like we can be as mad as we can as we want, but it's like that. If that's how they're choosing to run their show, all we can do is either watch or not watch.
I also think that, like you said, like I think that producers are also like realizing that this is a show. So in order for people to be interested in the show, there has to be drama. Like last night's episode on Friday was kind of boring. It was nothing to write home about. There's been these filler episodes. Like the challenge was kind of like boring. I think that it's just I don't know. I think that
Challenge?
yeah, it was the one with the the door and the slime. They had to ram through the door.
Oh, I was like,
Yeah, it was kind of like boring. It was just like I said, a filler. It wasn't even an hour long. I think this is the least. I think this was the shortest episode of the entire season. It was 54 minutes long, and it was just kind of like, yeah, we felt it. It was very much so like a filler episode. But predictions for tonight. What do you think? There's going to be a recoupling. The people that are left in the villa are Chris and Huda. We saw the first look, and it looked like Chris was kind of like doubting something. Even though it was a few seconds, he said, I'm having like doubts or something like that. Huda looked very like worried, and I was like, oh, something's going on. So who knows?
I don't think that, like, to add to what you're saying, I don't think is that he's saying that this is his scene. Like, not that it's not his scene because he did. Like, he auditioned to be there
Yeah,
and he agreed to be
he
there.
accepted. He agreed. Yeah, you're right.
I think what he's saying is like, regardless of what happens after this show,
You're right.
like, is not like, let's say he comes out of the show with Huda. It's not like he's coming back
With Huda.
No, not even. No, he is gonna go back with Huda, but it's not like he's coming back to be in this relationship right away. Like he's saying, like regardless of what happens here, I'm still thinking of going overseas.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
6 to 9 months. So it's like I think he's saying it in the sense of like regardless of what happens here, I don't think whatever relationship I come out of here with is gonna last
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
this long. Like so that's
Especially,
probably what he's thinking. Like he's probably doubting even being there because like regardless of if I find a connection here, are you gonna be willing to like as soon as we get out of here I'm gonna be like, hey, deuces, I'm out for 6 to 9 months to go play basketball overseas.
Yeah, and then
Especially hood as a single mom.
that's what I'm saying. And it's not even so much, and like that's the craziest part because yes, she's a single mom. Props to her. She was very vulnerable and my heart goes out to her. She said, I broke a shit, at a point in my life. And like I truly do give her flowers. I do not stand with her. I don't like her as a person, but as a mom, I can sympathize and empathize with her. Like being a single mom is hard. And then when you're broke, but she also is trying to create a narrative it's like if you're a single mom and you're broke, is your baby daddy not in the picture? He is a veteran or he's like active duty. And no, he does lives on TikTok and he says like, yeah, she's been with me, like the daughter's been with me and that they're very close. She's painting a picture like as if the father's not in the daughter's life, at least on the episodes and the edit that we're getting when she's with her dad, like while Hood is gone. So I don't understand and I can't grasp the narrative that she's giving about her baby daddy because she keeps saying, I'm a single mom, I'm a single mom. And maybe because I'm not in that position, I can't relate or understand it. But if you're a single mom, you would think that the father's not in the kid's life. He's not helping you financially. He's not helping you support her. To me, that's a single mom. You get me? There's no outside help. But if he is covering and taking care of your daughter for the entire 8 to 10 weeks that you're gone in Fiji, Eddie's upset too. And even if he is active duty, obviously he's probably working, Monday through Friday. He's working his hours, in the military, but he's with her and he's taking care of her while she's gone. And that's what I don't like. And so for her to say, as soon as my lease is up, I'm moving to LA. I think that there is a part of reality that she is playing. She's creating this narrative in her head and a reality in her head that necessarily doesn't align with reality of having a daughter. How are you going to move your daughter away from her father across the entire country? Like if he is in North Carolina, like you can't just up and leave. Like these fathers have rights. You get me? Like for her to say, yeah, after my lease is up, I'm moving to LA. And my baby daddy, like I already talked to him about it. And it's like, you can say one thing online or on TV, but there could be another reality outside of the villa. And I think that Chris is kind of also realizing that, like, he may be cool as shit with her being a mom, and that's a stand-up man for like staying behind her and like and being with her. I will give him that as well. But reality outside of the villa and outside of Love Island, I do think that he's also, like you said, he's thinking like, I cannot, I can't commit to this outside of the villa as easily as it would have been if it was just her by herself and she had no kid.
I mean, I agree. I can see what you mean. Like, I don't even think, like, yes, I get what you're saying with the whole, like, committing to her, like, as a mom. I just think he just meant to, like, plain blank period. Like, anyone he comes out of this with,
Yeah.
like, at the end of the day, like, his mind is not, I don't know if it's made up or set, but, like, his mind right now is not on that relationship.
Yeah. You're right.
Which does suck for him because I feel like he did go there wanting to find someone, but now that he's there, he's kind of like,
Thinking
shit, like,
realistically.
I'm like, this ain't what I want to be doing. Like, I want to be playing, like, I want to be doing what I want to be doing.
And I think that in his defense, I remember what I was going to say. In his defense, he probably went into this experience not counting on the fact that he was going to find a single mom. You get me? Like, it's not that heard of for single women or single parents to go on, I think, Love Island. I think you would think maybe Love is Blind or like The Ultimatum, but Love Island, like I think that it's such a niche type of reality show and game show that you would think that not it wouldn't cater or it wouldn't, like, I don't know. Like I think that he was not counting on falling in or like creating a connection, finding someone or creating a connection with a parent. And I think that that's just an extra added situation or something that he has to take into consideration, that he has to like think ahead for. It would be one thing if she was single and he would be able to communicate that with her, but now he also has the added like piece of the
He has to think
puzzle.
of the kid.
Yeah, that he like her child, and I get that. Predictions for tonight before we wrap up.
I thought we were gonna do the whole show, but predictions for tonight.
Yeah, for the recoupling.
I've been pretty good with this. So obviously Ace and Shelly, Nick, Cierra.
You think Nick and Cierra?
Yeah, I think they're gonna couple up. Duh.
I think with the whole controversy that's going on, people are speculating that production's going to get in Nick's ear, or they're going to remove her. They're going to take this opportunity to to dump her from the island.
And she thinks the show's like an NFL game. Like they have like the coaches in their ear, like, okay, all right, ready? We're gonna run this play. We're gonna get her at. No, like this is not what's happening, babe. Like
I don't know.
they are.
And that's the craziest part is that like if they don't remove, I think even Yulisa went on stand a statement. She says, and that's what I was telling you about the first 2 days that she said she was on for 2 full days. She said, I'm gonna wait 2 days, the same way that they did with me. I'm gonna wait 2 days, 2 full episodes for them to like kind of act accordingly, the same way that they did with me. And if they don't, then she was going to, I think, either contact a lawyer for discrimination. And it's like I think she's in every right to do so.
Of course.
So that's why people are thinking. I saw a TikTok that said they're going to use this recoupling to get rid of Cierra. And the only way that I would see that happening is if Nick chooses Olandria, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So we'll see.
At this point, I think I'm just ready to stop watching it. But anyhow, my predictions. I think So, Ace and Shelly, Nick and Cierra. I think Amaya's gonna pick Brian. Iris is gonna pick Pepe. I do think Amaya is going first. So if Amaya does pick Brian, Zach is gonna weasel back to Alondra.
And Elan goes home.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Jack Harlow. Gotta go.
Yeah, I think that's a good prediction. I feel like that I agree with that prediction. In the alternate universe or the
An alternate reality.
Yeah, an alternate reality, or how is it in Marvel?
A different timeline, a different universe.
Yeah, in a different universe.
Where the producers are running the plays over here like it's a football game.
They're
gonna get Cierra at it. They're gonna.
Yeah, I think that's a very much possibility. That or they kick her. Was she in the preview? I don't remember seeing her.
I didn't see it.
I don't think so. That or they did remove her, which forces Nick to, because they showed the fire pit, right? And I can't remember if I saw her in there or not, but they could remove her before the recoupling, and then it gives Nick no other option but to either go home and the thing is that she didn't say it just once on one occasion. There's screenshots of how somebody responded to her on her story and said, "Hey girl, like that's kind of like a racial slur." And she says, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." And then like a year or two later, she does it again. And like Yulisa, it was on one podcast and
that we saw.
Yes, granted. But the way that these FBI like people are on TikTok and like on social media, I feel like they're.
But that's what I'm saying. Like at this point, like if we were to take a private investigator to all of these people, might as well cancel the whole fucking show.
I mean, I
guarantee you, at some point in their life, they have said something.
Well, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and speak and like say that about them, but at the end of the day,
me neither. But I'm just saying, like, if we want to get down and dirty, like, I'm sure that we could find, if not something racial, something fucked up that they've done.
Maybe, but I think that I don't know. I think that if they don't do it, it'd be a huge disservice to the Asian community, and I think that Yulisa has a huge lawsuit on her hands. So I don't like Cierra. Like I said, I'm not like fucking with her and vibing with her. My top two couples are going to be that win this are going to be Amaya and whoever she's coupled up with, Brian, Iris and Pepe. And I'd hate to say Huda and Chris, but people were saying Huda and Chris. But if whatever happens tonight and their conversation, however it goes, that could be out the window.
I'd rather see Ace and Shelly win before Huda.
I wouldn't like to see either of them win. I wouldn't care at this point if they were top three, but because he has so many followings and he has such a huge following. But regardless, I think that maybe even Taylor and Clark, I think that they have a better connection, or even. Okay, Eddie is like moving. Can you come grab him, please? I have both of my boobs out because he cannot like act right. So my predictions for top two, maybe even three couples, I think Amaya and Brian, or Pepe and Iris. Considering that Pepe was number one guy and Amaya was number one girl, at this point it can kind of go either way. I love Amaya to death, but I still love Iris more. Like I love them like both like great. I think that Amaya has been put through a lot, but I think also Iris has kind of stuck with the connection through and through, so she hasn't been like all over the place. And I mean, I love Amaya Papaya, but I would love to see Iris win. Either way though, either one would be good. Before tonight's preview and first look, I was honestly like kind of accepting the fact that because of all the hood rats, that Huda could be top three, but I don't know. Doesn't look like there's smooth sailings with that couple. I would hate to see Ace and Shelly at the top 3, but over Huda, maybe. I'm even kind of better off with Olandria and Zach, or even Taylor and Clark. I just don't want to see Ace, neither Huda, neither Nick or Cierra on my top 3 finalists. I'm kind of over it, but it is what it is, babe. Final thoughts,
Guess
babe?
we'll have to watch and see.
I know. You have any final thoughts?
I still don't like Huda, and I still don't really like Amaya. Let me rephrase. I don't like Huda. I find Amaya annoying.
Yes.
She's a very nice and sweet person, but she is annoying.
She's quirky. Like she says, maybe she's not the book you need to be reading.
And I'm definitely never going to. Don't you worry. I ain't going to.
Wow, you're not even going to stick with your Dominican sister? That's fucked up.
They already voted my other Dominican sister off, so why should I stick with the other one?
Was she Dominican?
Yes.
She didn't sound like she had a Dominican accent. Then again, she was not speaking.
She had an accent.
A very thick accent, but we never heard her speaking in Spanish. But yeah, I'll give that to you. But I think that wraps it up for us today. I think we got a lot off our chest. We had been gone for 2 weeks. I think we had been gone, as far as being on the podcast, we had been gone the entire time that Love Island was on. No, lie. I don't think that. Or maybe for the past 2.5 weeks, babe, or 3
She's
weeks.
Dominican and Spain.
Okay, whatever. We hadn't recorded an episode, I think, since before Love Island started. But
This is very different, obviously. This is not anything food related, but we can kind of do a dual.
we're doing a little reality check. But yeah. And yeah, I think that there was just so much going on, like with the Love Island and USA world and social media, that and I talk about it on my TikTok for us to not talk about it, and I needed somewhere to vent. So we haven't really recapped many episodes, like I said, ever on here. So we kind of did an overall debrief of the entire season so far. We kind of deep dived into a little bit of each contestant or each couple.
Hot couples, like all the
big, like the
ones who are on the hot seat.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah. So we hope you guys enjoyed it. If you haven't watched Love Island USA to now is a perfect time to binge it. You have about maybe a week before the finale. And I actually prefer sometimes to binge like seasons like this. Like I haven't seen season 5, so I probably will go see season 5. Marco is on TikTok and he was a season 5 winner, and he's just so funny recapping and debriefing every episode. Like he calls it, like he sees it. I think he and I have very similar views as to how the season is going. So I'm kind of interested in seeing season 5, but now is a perfect time to binge it. If you're a binger, you'll kind of have a perfect opportunity to catch up before the finale, and we want to hear your thoughts. So if you guys have watched Love Island and you're up to date with us like we are, we'd love to hear your thoughts, whether you agreed with us, whether you disagreed with us, whether we had any hot takes that you didn't agree with, or if you have any hot takes, we want to hear them. Sound off in the comments, go off, share this episode with somebody that you love, somebody who's watching Love Island, whoever, it doesn't matter. I think that a lot of the people, even Manny's streamers, are watching Love Island. And so I think that it's kind of taking over the US. It's a beautiful time to kind of just de-stress and decompress from, I guess, what's going on in the world. But that being said, don't let it consume you like it has me. And yeah, any last words, babe?
Save yourself from the show.
We are so very much.
And if you do decide to watch it, don't let it consume you like it has us.
Yeah. But that being said, we are very much still to this day Team Jeremiah. We love him. I will always give him a shout out. He's a great human. And my girl, Iris, I love her. But that being said, we are ready to clock out. Right, babe?
Yes.
All right, guys, we will see you bright-eyed and bushy-tailed next week. Depending on how Love Island unravels this week, we may do another recap of this upcoming week in these 6 days. And it'll be kind of a more condensed recap versus kind of being all over the place and talking about everyone. But as the finale gets closer, we may just spend these next 2-3 episodes talking about Love Island and doing a little reality check. So let us know what you think in the comments. Sound off, pop off, and we will catch you guys next week. See you next week, booties.